Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I was just checking my mail and I got this thing in the mail to recall the Republicans. Now, I don't vote because voting's stupid. It's nonsense. You're voting for the same party, but they gave me this, right? Stop the Republicans' recall of Governor Newsom. I agree with the recall. Mr. Newsom has failed to do a lot of things properly in his fiduciary capacity of public trust. Plus, the fact is, in the state of California, there are no Republicans in office. There are no Republican holders who hold office. And so these individuals trying to stop a Republican from reaching a power grab. It's not a power grab. They're trying to say, well, it's a power grab, blah, 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 blah. It's not a power grab. The fact is that they're trying to maintain their power, that the Republicans are intruding upon territory of the Democrats, and that the Democrats are being challenged now. And that's never happened before in the state of California because it's been predominantly a Democratic state, and I believe that it's good to have both sides. We want the Republicans to oppose a Democratic bill, just like we want a Democratic party to say, hey, we don't agree with some of the terms in that. That's democracy. That's what the Republic Society of the State of California, which is the sovereign state under the 10th Amendment, allows. And I'm all for it. I say, hey, bring over some more Republicans. I want more conflict. I want more Republicans opposing Democrats just as much as I want Democrats opposing Republicans' ideologies. There has to be some middle ground. The problem is these people like to do this and dance, and they just dance around us. See, these people only come around during election year. During election year, they'll come into our neighborhoods, and then they'll go on and try to get our votes with television, propaganda, all these different things. Understand that technically what they're doing is in violation of the Constitution because the Constitution in the state of California actually forbids the use of propaganda or slander in this state. So what they have done is a violation of the Constitution. By them simply wanting to recall somebody who they opposed, completely fail. I could recall being a civilian, and if I can recall, what's not to say a Republican Party can do this? This is not a power grab. This is simply a move for those to keep and maintain the power that they currently have, and for those to be opposed, to be those opposing to be sent down, say no, and that's why they have these vote no for the recall of the Republican recall of Democratic leader Gavin Newsom, who is a horrible official and has drowned our society. And I agree wholly with it. I'm not siding with neither the Republicans. I would like to hear both sides of why. But this type of nonsense, rather than having a real conversation and, these delaying tactics where they just delay stuff, it's only so they can try to find a way to get their way. And, it's delaying these tactics and not actually talking about race and not actually talking about money, the poverty, and tiptoeing around it. These people make these bills that make absolutely no sense. I was looking at a law for gangs as I'm dealing with a couple cases in my that I have on file with individuals who are allegedly gang members. After looking through the laws of enhancement under the 186 law for enhancement of gangs, it's ambiguous. It applies to anybody wearing the same outfit, or having the same symbol. Like Republicans everybody considered a Republican could be considered a gang member in the state of California, or a Democrat, or a lawyer. So these laws are vague and ambiguous, and this, I believe that we should have these people, and I say we should vote yes, and allow a recall, and see what happens. What, it can't get any worse than it already is. I mean, we lock down, we wear masks, we have flu shots, vaccination shots, which aren't even actually properly tested. Before they were administered, they weren't properly tested. That's stupid. Why would you give somebody a drug? But the thing is, how they got around it was, well, you did it on your own. We didn't force you to do it. You did it willingly. Yes, but you also made it so that businesses would not be able to function. See, I believe that he is an economic drain. Also, the Republicans are an economic drain. Like I said, it's a double-edged sword. It doesn't matter who you pick, you're going to get fucked. And pardon my language, but that's the matter of the fact is. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope people vote yes and recall Newsom. I would like to see what happens if Newsom gets out of office, and somebody else gets elected into office. What they could do, These politicians and cops and all these people are afraid to speak. I've talked with officers who I asked, do you want to run for sheriff? Do you ever think about running for sheriff? They said no. Why? Because it's career suicide. Because they're afraid that their job will be affected if they try to take the position of somebody higher up than them. Which is absolute nonsense. The people should not be afraid of the government. The government should be afraid of the people. I want to repeat that. The people should not be afraid of the government. The government should be afraid of the people. And that's what's wrong with our society today, is we're afraid to speak up, and those who speak up are told no, or they are slandered and libeled, such as propaganda like this, or other stuff they put on the news to try to play daily. People need to realize that it's good to have an opposing side. If you look at other states and how they're set up, they have opposing sides. Some states do not. Some states only have one party. That's a one-party state. There should be a two-side opposing party state. Thank you.